Nelson Mandela was born in a small village in South Africa in 1918. His early years were spent in the rural countryside, surrounded by the natural beauty of his homeland. He grew up during a time of deep racial segregation, a period marked by the harsh realities of apartheid. Black South Africans faced discrimination and injustice under the apartheid system. Mandela witnessed this firsthand, seeing the daily struggles and indignities suffered by his people. These experiences would shape his path. Mandela pursued education with a determination to make a difference. He attended a local mission school, where he began to understand the power of knowledge and learning. Later he studied law at the University of Fort Hare, one of the few higher education institutions available to black South Africans at the time. At university, Mandela became more aware of the injustices faced by black South Africans, and his resolve to fight these injustices grew stronger. He joined the African National Congress, or ANC, an organization dedicated to ending apartheid and achieving equality. The ANC fought against apartheid through protests, strikes, and other forms of civil disobedience. Mandela became a key leader in the movement, inspiring many with his passionate speeches and unwavering commitment. The ANC organized protests and demonstrations, mobilizing thousands to stand up against the oppressive regime. They challenged the apartheid laws at every turn. Mandela's involvement grew as he took on more responsibilities within the ANC. He became a prominent voice for equality and justice, known for his eloquence and powerful oratory skills. The government responded with force, using police and military to suppress the growing resistance. They cracked down on the ANC's activities, arresting many of its members and leaders. Mandela and his comrades refused to be silenced, continuing their fight with even greater determination. They believed in nonviolent resistance, inspired by leaders like Mahatma Gandhi. However, they also recognized the need for strategic planning and unity to bring about real change. The struggle for freedom was intensifying, and Mandela's role in it was becoming ever more crucial. The Sharpeville Massacre in 1960 marked a turning point in South Africa's history. Peaceful protesters were shot by police, 69 people were killed, and many more were injured. This event shocked the world and drew international condemnation. It exposed the brutality of the apartheid regime, highlighting the severe oppression faced by black South Africans. In response, the South African government banned the ANC, the African National Congress. They intensified their crackdown on dissent, arresting and harassing activists. Mandela and his comrades were forced to go underground to continue their struggle. They formed Umkhonto we Sizwe, or MK, the armed wing of the ANC. MK was the armed wing of the ANC dedicated to fighting the apartheid regime through armed struggle. They believed that armed struggle was necessary to achieve their goals. Apartheid would not end without a fight, and the resistance grew stronger. Mandela played a key role in MK's operations. He traveled abroad to garner support. He sought support for the anti-apartheid movement from international leaders and organizations. However, his activities made him a target for the apartheid regime's security forces. In 1964, Mandela and several other ANC leaders were arrested during a police raid. They were charged with sabotage and other crimes against the state. The trial of Nelson Mandela and his comrades drew international attention and widespread media coverage. It became a symbol of the struggle against apartheid, inspiring global protests and solidarity. Mandela's words resonated around the world, echoing the call for justice and equality. He spoke of freedom, equality, and the end of oppression, becoming a beacon of hope for millions. Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life in prison. He was sent to Robben Island. It was a maximum security prison off the coast of Cape Town. Mandela endured harsh conditions. He was subjected to hard labor and isolation. His spirit, however, remained unbroken. Mandela became a symbol of hope for millions. He was a powerful reminder of the injustice of apartheid. International pressure mounted for his release. Anti-apartheid movements grew stronger around the world. Despite his imprisonment, Mandela's influence grew. He became an international icon. People around the world called for his release. They demanded an end to apartheid. In 1990, after 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela was released. His release was a momentous occasion. It marked a turning point in South Africa's history. The world watched as Mandela walked free. He spoke of forgiveness and reconciliation. Mandela's release signaled the beginning of the end of apartheid. Negotiations began between the South African government and the ANC. The goal was a peaceful transition to a democratic South Africa. Mandela played a crucial role in these negotiations. He urged all sides to embrace peace and reconciliation. His efforts were instrumental in preventing a bloodbath. In 1994, South Africa held its first free and fair elections. Nelson Mandela, the former prisoner, was elected president. It was a remarkable moment in history. A symbol of oppression was now the leader of a free South Africa. Mandela's presidency focused on reconciliation and rebuilding. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Its aim was to address the atrocities of the past. Mandela believed in forgiveness. He knew that healing was essential for a new South Africa. Mandela's government worked tirelessly to improve the lives of all South Africans. They implemented policies to address poverty, inequality, and social injustice. Mandela's leadership was an inspiration to the world. In recognition of Nelson Mandela's extraordinary contributions, the United Nations declared July 18th as Nelson Mandela International Day, a day dedicated to celebrating his life and legacy. This day celebrates Mandela's legacy of peace, justice, and equality, and serves as a global call to action. It is a call to action for people around the world to make a difference in their communities, encouraging acts of kindness and service. Nelson Mandela International Day encourages individuals to dedicate 67 minutes of their time to community service, symbolizing the 67 years Mandela spent fighting for social justice. This symbolic act represents the 67 years Mandela spent fighting for social justice, equality, and human rights. People around the world honor Mandela's legacy through various activities, from community service to educational events. These include volunteering, donating to charities, and promoting peace and understanding, reflecting Mandela's values and vision. Nelson Mandela International Day serves as a reminder that every individual has the power to create a more just and equitable world, inspiring generations to come. Nelson Mandela's legacy extends far beyond the borders of South Africa. He is remembered as a global icon of peace, forgiveness, and reconciliation. His unwavering commitment to justice and equality continues to inspire people around the world to fight for a better future. Mandela's life and work teach us the importance of